when we're live. Okay, estamos en vivo. Perfecto. Well, hola, hola, hola. Buenas noches a todos. Soy Tasha de Tasha Teaches Spanish y esta noche hemos regresado con otro episodio de Hablamos Español. So let me stop speaking Spanish. Hey, everybody, this is Tasha. Good evening. Tasha of Tasha Teaches Spanish, and we are back with another episode of Hablamos Español. If this is your first time viewing this, muchísimas gracias y bienvenido. Thank you and welcome. So Hablamos Español is a series of talks that highlights African-American women who are fluent in the Spanish language. I mean, this is because there are many cases in which we don't see ourselves represented in a variety of areas, and foreign language learning is one of those. And so we seek to shed light on the fact that there are many of us learning more than English, all right? So tonight, esta noche tenemos Erika Baker de Black and Bilingual. Wearing my shirt, boom!
I love it. I love it.
Yes. Erika Baker of Black and Bilingual. Hola, Erika. Bienvenido.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Estoy bien, gracias. And so I will ask Erika a series of questions. And guys, I found out about her just through the internet. I'm in a group. I think it was in Melanated Multilinguals. I'm in a group. I found out about her company. And I said, well, I'm going to buy that shirt. And then she just, as a business owner, she's nice. And she emails you directly back to say, thanks for buying. So, you know, most companies, you're going to get the generic email. I'm like, oh, it's not, it's automated, you know, it's automation. But I said, oh, it's her real email. Let me ask her if she'll talk to me. So, muchísimas gracias. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. So, we're going to dive right in and pull up the questions. Perdón. Okay. Excuse the wait. All right, so, but I already know the first thing. The first thing every guest does is to talk about yourself in Español. So for you all, the viewers, los espectadores, this is a challenge for you to see how much Spanish do you know? Can you pick up a word or two or three? And then at the end, she's going to say the same thing. I'm going to write down the points you hit in case you forget. And at the end, she'll talk about herself in English. So then this also makes you stay to the end. See if you got it right the first time. So here we go. I'll ask you some questions about yourself. Número uno, pues, claro, tu nombre, ¿cómo te llamas?
Okay, soy Erika Miss-Enformed Baker, la jefe de Black and Bilingual.
Muy bien. ¿Y sus pasatiempos?
Mis pasatiempos, me gusta cocinar, viajar, cuidar en mi casa, COVID-19, caminar, hablar con mis amigos y amigas, social media, muy simple.
Okay, una vida simple, muy bien. Okay, 3, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, ATL. Y habla de tu familia. ¿Vives con miembros de la familia o padres, hermanos, cualquiera personas?
No. So tengo una hermana, mi padre y mi hermana. Mi hermana vive en Nueva York, Brooklyn. Sí, y las otras personas de mi familia es en Tennessee.
Okay, muy bien. ¿Y tú trabajos? ¿Pero qué haces para ganar dinero?
Tengo más trabajos. Okay, so soy una maestra en la vida y en la noche manejar por una compañía de delivery.
Okay.
Sí, y
¿Tienes la compañía Black and Bilingual?
Tengo 3 negocios. Escribí un libro en 2018. Sí, 2018. Sí, y Black and Bilingual, mis camisetas y otras cosas, y CBD oil.
Wow. Sí, eres una trabajadora, hardworking woman. Ay. Ok, 2 preguntas más de la introducción. ¿Qué usted quiere ser en el futuro? Sí, sea diferente de lo que haces ahora? ¿Hay un sueño o trabajo ideal? O como, ¿qué piensas de tu futuro?
En el futuro, quiero Black and Bilingual a hacer una compañía global.
All
Like,
right.
okay, I'm trying to be Steve
International, worldwide. like Pitbull says, Mr. Worldwide.
Right, exactly. I'm trying to be big. I don't know what y'all trying to do, but I'm trying to be big. So yeah. Yeah.
Muy bien.
That's my
Y
sueño.
al fin, tu canción latina favorita o cantante latino favorito?
Mi cantante favorito latino es Celia Cruz, la reina.
Oh, sí.
Mi favorita canción latina es La vida es un carnaval.
Sí.
Es la primera canción que aprendí en mi escuela secundaria en Spanish class. So,
Okay, para mí es igual. Era la primera canción yo aprendí en universidad.
Sí, okay.
Sí,
Okay,
sí.
sí.
Okay, muy bien.
It was un proyecto de personas latino
Okay.
en la clase en sí, Celia Cruz, porque ella es negra.
Exactamente eso, sí, eso. Okay, muy bien. El fin. That's the end of the interview, guys, in case you were getting distracted or annoyed because you're like, I don't know Spanish, but most people know more Spanish than they realize. And so we always start off the interview with that to give you a chance to test yourself, right? Yeah. Okay, now let's dive in to these other questions. So why did you decide to learn Spanish in the first place, Erika?
I always tell people that I didn't choose Spanish, it chose me because because I didn't, you have to take a foreign language, like just to graduate from high school or whatever. So I don't remember like selecting either or. We had French, we had German, we had Latin. I don't remember. I think everybody just got Spanish for the most part. So it chose me. And I'm here now.
That's good. Okay. So what grade did you start then?
That was in 10th grade, 2004. Yeah, 2004, 2005 year.
Okay. Okay. So how did you learn? I know you already mentioned being put in it in school, but did you even take it seriously then? Whenever you really started learning, how did you learn? Because I know me and many people, we have to take it in high school, but I wasn't serious and many people aren't, but maybe you were. So when you really started learning, how did that come about?
So my Spanish 1 teacher, Senora Riquelme, she was a really, really good teacher. I don't know what she was doing, but she really she really made, and I have an affinity for words. So I don't know. I just clicked. That's what I'm saying. It chose me. I don't know, but I really connected with my teacher, and it was like a group of us from Spanish 1 class, and so then Spanish 2, that's like the other general one, and then we took that, and then we moved to Spanish 3. Spanish 3 is a choice. So chose Spanish 3, had a different teacher, and then we went to Spanish 4, got the same teacher back. And so she teaches it, and she's a white woman from Michigan.
Wow.
She teaches Spanish, like if you do not pronounce things the way it should be, like she would spaz out. Like we had cards, like red cards, and if we didn't like say it the way it should have been said, or like we sounded gringa or whatever, she'd like, give me a card. Like she didn't play no games. She was an excellent teacher. Like we all still love that woman.
Let me ask you this, because this came up in a focus group I did, and it was a really good point. A parent voiced a concern with her child's Spanish education because her experience has been our Spanish classrooms are filled with white people, but they don't share the culture or the love of the culture. So I guess with your teacher, she really was in it.
Yes, she did. And her, I believe she was married to, he's from South America. I can't remember which country, but he's from South America. But she, like, it was very authentic. It was very authentic, and her accent is beautiful. And that's how I sound like I do, and other people sound like we do, because she really instilled that in us, like just the love of it, I think. The culture, the people. She would share like her personal family stuff. So yeah. I never even thought about it like that too, and you just said it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying to think, like, that was the same experience for me, but I never felt like it was, I don't know, I guess I just didn't think about the importance of it. But when she mentioned, I'm like, yeah, that it does matter that whoever's teaching you in whatever culture they're from, that it's still taught in an appreciative way of the beauty of the culture. So,
Right.
yeah, but that's good. Well, shout out to your teacher.
Yes.
Let's see. So how do you keep the language fresh and your skills sharp, right now?
I've been being bad right now. I'm not gonna lie.
That's honest.
I've been being bad. But that's because like with the business side of stuff, it's a lot of other stuff going on. Like, so, that's neither here nor there. But I normally, because over there, I have like books on my floor over there, and I have my workbooks. I'm a teacher, so whatever old workbooks that we have, whatever, I'll go and take them and I'll practice. Like if I get upset, I'll practice. When I'm bored, I'll do like a sheet a night. And that's how I keep myself fresh, especially like reading and conjugating. But other ways, Duolingo. Like I said, I've been bad, but Duolingo. And I also live in a Spanish-speaking community. So that's what I really have been doing during the pandemic, because we've all been home. So, they'll sell like, the fruit or whatever. And I'll go out and I interact with them. And that's how I've been keeping it fresh, like, since we've been in the house.
Now, you mentioned being a teacher earlier, but I didn't ask. So you are a Spanish teacher? What do you teach?
No, so right now I'm a special ed teacher. I'm working at a special needs inclusion school, but in the past I've always been in like urban education, inner city, or the bottom of the whoever's, wherever.
Okay, I got you. Well, that's good. That's real good. Okay. What's next? What was most difficult for you when you first started learning?
The conjugating. It still is. Like, I try to conjugate in my head. I don't like the preterite tense at all. I hate the preterite tense. And I feel like that's one like gap I have with the language, is the preterite tense. It takes me so long to conjugate the preterite tense. I love the imperfect. I love present.
Yeah, because it's just Alba. It's just Alba and Ia for imperfect.
I love the commands, but I hate the preterite. So yeah, that's still hard for me.
I understand. And for me though, I'm okay with preterite, imperfect, present, and even future. But it's a couple of them that just, a lot of them I still don't even worry about. Like pluscuamperfecto, like what?
Right,
I don't. A lot of them I'm like, what is this? But
right.
I understand it. They can be tricky, especially when you're adding, so much information at one time. All right. Is there anything that, you already kind of said it, the preterite, but is there anything else that's still difficult for you about the language?
So okay, I travel a lot. So when you go to different countries say things differently.
Yes.
They have different accents.
Yes.
A person from Argentina does not sound like a person from somewhere else, Cuba or wherever.
Cuba.
Yeah. So that's always been like trying to pick up on the accent. Once you kind of get it in your ear, you can start trying, but Argentina is hard for me. Because of the list, it's hard for me.
This woman, I have a client that we talked about this today. We just had this conversation. So how is the list different from this one from Spain?
It's not necessary. And because I think I forgot that they had the list. And so when I was living in DC, I started taking so this is another way I kept it fresh. I started taking classes again like a few years ago. And my first teacher was a guy from Mexico. And me and him, we're just going back and forth. My next teacher was the guy from Argentina. And then when I heard the list, I was just like, hold on, you gotta go slow. Please. Muy lentamente, por favor, porque no entiendo at all. Like, so, but once we got there, I'm like, okay, but it's like that in Spain, like the same.
And just in case anybody's confused, what are they talking about? So in Spain, and I didn't even know, she said they talk different, but I don't know if she mentioned a list. I didn't know they had one. So like in Spain, they often use their tongue to pronounce certain words that other Latin American countries they just use it, say it normally, but it's a lot of tongue usage.
Yeah. They used to make us do like this, like zapatos.
Yeah. Zapatos. Yeah.
And we would hold our tongue.
Just in case anybody's confused.
Yeah, because when like I said, I took Spanish 3. Spanish 3 was Spain like culture.
Gotcha.
All Spain. Yeah.
So, and people, I lived in Spain for about 9 months in 2014 to 2015, and I would tell people, I'd come back and tell people, I lived in Spain. They say, "Oh, you don't have an accent." And I'm like, "No, I just, I'm talking in Spanish to these folks." So they're like, "Where's your accent?" I guess I wasn't there long enough to get it. I don't, I don't know, but I didn't adapt that. But okay, all right, cool beans. Next up, how has learning Spanish benefited you professionally, personally, or in any other way?
Okay, so professionally, I have my very first job. I went to FAMU. My very first job from FAMU, I worked at a learning center. It was like an adult learning center in Apopka, Florida. It was like migrant workers and
Apopka, what you say?
Apopka, Florida.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So it's like where they like make the Simply oranges.
Okay, learn something new today.
And so they had a community center. And they needed an adult literacy specialist there, but the person had to. So what they didn't tell you was the person had to be Black, but the person had to speak Spanish. The funding was for a Black person who spoke Spanish.
Specifically you, ding.
Right, specifically me. So I ended up getting the job there, and I moved to Orlando. So that's professionally, and then personally, I used to work so I moved to DC to be a teacher, and my job there, after I got out the school system, I worked for First Book. It's an international like nonprofit. We give books to like free and reduced cost books or whatever. And so it's like a call center. So people are calling from like all over the world, San Antonio, wherever. And we would get occasional people that did not speak English. Gil, my coworker, he was just like promoted to like another department. So the only person left to speak Spanish was me. So I would just hop on the phone. Like when I would tell, like somebody would call out, "Hey, like this is a person that doesn't, they don't speak English. I don't think they understand me." I would just hop on the phone, or I would like answer all of the Spanish emails or whatever. So it's helped me a lot. And then personally, I moved back to Atlanta, where I'm from, and I was able to get into a 16-week boot camp, like for entrepreneurs. It's through Emory University. It's called Start Me. And so I got into that because of Black and Bilingual. And of course, like if you have to speak Spanish. You can't have a statement that says Black and Bilingual and they ask you, what do you speak? And you don't speak nothing. So personally, speaking Spanish helped me to get into that program and to like grow my business and everything. So yeah.
Okay. Now, two things. You just said you were from Florida. So is it because you have a connection to Florida, or just where you were born or something?
No, I said I lived in Florida for 7 years.
I heard from. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Perdóname. Okay. And then the other question. The role was specifically for a Black person. Why? Was because there are a lot of Afro Latinos? Why did they need to be Black as well?
So I don't know. I forget the name of the organization that funded it, but it was a literacy organization. And so where the community center was, it was like the splitting ground between the Black side of town and the Latina side of town. And I think that they were trying to like get both people to use the center. But the Black people thought the center was for the other side. So they never went there. And so they needed a Black person who could talk to the people that use it and the people that they want in there.
Wow. Okay. It was custom made for you. Custom made. Just like Spanish chose you from the beginning, the job chose you.
Exactly. Spanish chose me.
All right. Next up, in general, people automatically assume, this is my experience, that a bilingual individual is automatically making big bucks. They say, "Oh, you're getting that big money." And now everybody thinks big money is different, but I'm in Arkansas. So let's say big money is $100,000 a year. Okay. Have you found this assumption to be common? Have you gotten that? "Oh, you're bilingual, you make big money." You get that as well?
Yes, I have gotten that. And if you are bilingual, you can make big money. That would not be my case at this point, but not for like my profession. You know what I mean? Yeah, not for like the professional world. Yeah. I would say it depends. It depends on what your setup is. Put it like that.
Okay. That's honest. But yeah, people just think you just automatically like you get your Spanish degree, your Spanish education somehow, and you're like, oh, here comes the dollar. No. It doesn't work just like that.
Right, exactly. It doesn't work just like that. It's a lot of other stuff.
And I will say this, it can help, like some jobs, they'll give somebody $5 more an hour if they're bilingual. Yeah, it can happen, but
now
just people are
now that you say that though, on the back end, I've made good money though. Freelancing. Like when I worked in Apopka at that community center, I also used to like teach Spanish on the side, and I would teach English on the side to the people that were trying to learn English, and that was lucrative. So I would say, like for anybody out there that's saying, okay, I want to go to school for a foreign language, you may or may not get some big bucks from a company. But if you like leverage yourself as like, you're confident in your skills, and you leverage like you have Tasha teaching Spanish, you get what I'm saying? Like it's more money in it doing your own thing, because especially when you're Black, people love to see that. They love it.
Yeah.
Because you don't see it, like you said, people don't associate us with foreign language and things like that. So it's very lucrative like that.
That's a good point. Yeah, and several good points. Making money off yourself, and then the other point of people liking to see a Black person, because I've had a couple clients who come to me, parents, and they'll say, "I want my child to learn with you because they're Black and they can see themselves in you." So I got you. Next up, how do Latinos respond when you start speaking Spanish?
They love it. They love it. Like I've gone to Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and I went to Colombia last summer. They love it. They always ask me like, how did you learn? Where did you learn? So I've always received love from that side. I've always received love from people that like in the States. No, but
that was the next question. But go on and talk about it. And the question is white and Black. So go ahead.
Yeah, white and Black overseas. Great.
I'm saying here.
Here? Oh yeah, here. Yeah. They'll look at you crazy. They'll say like, what are you saying? Like, I've gotten a lot of responses, or people just look like, where you from? You from Georgia? How you know that? Like, like, okay.
I had one guest said they told me Black people used to tell them, you Black, right?
Right. Like, what you mean? I know.
Ridiculous. But okay.
Okay. I ain't know the colors, but we cool.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize as well, and this just shows how closed-minded people are in general, but I think United States Americans as well, because we don't feel like we don't have to interact with people. It's plenty natural born Latinos that are just as our shade or darker. And so the only time I can really get a person knows I'm not a native is because maybe I don't have a official accent. But other than that, if a person looks at me, I could be as native as anybody else, because there are people that look just like us, and that's where they're from.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So what do you recommend to those who want to learn the language? In any area of learning, just any recommendations you have?
When you start, I would say start with learning the alphabet and what sounds the alphabet makes, because in English is like the hardest language to learn, because a lot of the phonetically, I'm about to be a teacher. Phonetically, a lot of words in English do not make the sound that it looks like. In other languages, like in Spanish, oh my God, the actual technical term of it slips my mind, but in Spanish, you can actually you can pronounce it the way it looks. So if you know a, be, se, che, de, e, then when you put it together, you can actually like try to like sound it out if you don't know the word. And that's what I do. Like if it's a word that I don't really like remember or realize, or it's a new word, I just think about it like that. So that's one tip. Because I know a lot of people teach Spanish, like they teach you how to recite phrases like "cómo está," but they don't teach you like how to pronounce the language. So that would be the first thing. The second thing, is during the since we've been in the pandemic, Rosetta Stone has been free. I don't know if it's still free, but it was free. But if I had to choose between Rosetta Stone and Duolingo, I would choose Duolingo. It's way better and it's free. So Duolingo's good. What else do I tell people? If you don't know how to roll your R's, just keep practicing because it's like a hard, just keep you might get it. I don't know. I think I naturally knew how to roll my R's, but people build raspberries, like all that probably helped too. Honestly, it probably helped because when people don't understand us, when people speak a language, the way our tongue hits our mouth is what we're used to. That's why people have accents the way they do. So if your mouth is not used to making that or blow raspberries, and it'll make the vibration more prevalent in your mind.
Like now we getting into linguistics. This is linguistics.
So yeah, but that's some tips because when people talk to me, they say, "Oh, I don't know how to roll my R's." That's like when the first thing people say, "I can't learn it because I don't know how to roll my R's." It's just that your mouth is not used to making that vibration. So, but yeah,
I like that. I've never heard of the idea of making a raspberry to get the. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. That's good. Okay. Next up, only really one question left. Oh, but this isn't even a question. Is there anything else you would like to add? A funny story, another tip, or just anything else you want to add to inform our viewers?
A story. Okay. It's not a funny story. I wish I had one, but I don't. So okay, this lady last year, she called me on the phone to interview to like teach English at like a place or whatever. And I was like in a rush when she called. I didn't know who this woman was. And I guess she had my resume. So when we were on the phone, she's asking me the interview questions. I'm like, answering them in English. And then she said, "Oh, habla español?" And I said, "Sí." So I'm getting in my car. She started asking a bunch of questions in Spanish. And I was just I answered it. I heard what she said. I answered in English. What she said to me was, we have a lot of Portuguese students. And so we, wanted to know if that's something you feel comfortable with. I answered in English, but she said it in Spanish. When I answered in English, she said, in Español, like my mama or something. I'm like, hold on, who is this lady? I was even listening to this woman at first. And when she snapped on me like that, I said, so I got offended. So it threw me off my game because it caught me off guard. Like the whole interview caught me off guard. So I was like stammering and everything. And then she told me, well, don't tell people that you know how to speak Spanish because you didn't respond to me. You didn't know how to respond to me. That's not something that you need to tell people. Wow. And when I tell you I was crushed, I'm like, hold on, I'm not a fraud. I have a whole business. Like I was so upset. But I tell that story to tell people, don't let people tell you who you are and what you are. Because when I went to Colombia and I spoke to those people were like, oh my goodness, like you sound beautiful. Like they said, I feel beautiful. Like they said, you really know the language. Like that's so impressive.
Yeah.
And if I would have listened to that woman, I would have been like in my head and not even wanting to like connect with the people like that. And it just really hurt my feelings. It made me feel, sad about myself.
Yeah. So and that, you know what? I'm still gonna interrupt you. Go. I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead.
I love that because I've had 2 experiences like that. Now one of them I wasn't at a certain level yet, so I get it. But I was in a pageant. One of the women was Latina. I had put on that I was bilingual, but I was like still in the learning stages. And she asked me a question, and I literally did not know what she was asking me. And she was simply asking me, this is during the pageant interview. She simply asked me what I like to eat. And I'm just like, I was lost. So because of that, I lost the pageant. And when we looked at my scorecards, everybody else was giving me a lot of points except her. Because I think she was offended that I said I knew Spanish and I didn't prove it. Another guy, this was my first job. I was a bilingual secretary. Now he was just rude or something wrong with him. My Spanish was fine. And then so he was very rude during our first interaction when I'm checking him in. I was a receptionist. So he goes into his appointment, comes out, he comes back before he leaves. And hey, you need to, they say you are learning to speak Spanish. You need to learn better because you don't speak good.
Right. Like, okay.
So I love that. I love that encouragement because also it's about the moment. Just because you didn't prove it to her in that moment because you had other stuff going on. Doesn't
like
mean
I was running. I was literally on my way out the door to go somewhere because somebody said they needed something, and I was like, and she caught me off guard. Like the whole interview caught me off guard, you know. And you're right, like it happens. It does happen because I tell people all the time, like people say, "Are you fluent?" And I'm like, I'm gonna always be a lifelong learner of Spanish.
Baby, yes, Erika.
I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna be fluent, but I can do what I can do.
Yeah, because when people ask me how long it's gonna take for you to teach me and I'm gonna be fluent, I would say it depends because learning a language is a lifetime journey. Right. Even English, right. I'm always learning new English words. Like that's a word, you know. So it is. It's a but I don't say that to discourage people to say, oh, I'm gonna have to learn forever. Never mind. No, that's the beauty of it, you know. So yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah. Okay. Well, the end, la conclusión. We're just gonna go over your introduction. So viewers, if you in the beginning saw our conversation, she gave her introduction in Español, and now it's time to see if you got the correct understanding. All right. So I don't even know why I put this in here, but your name, I need to take that
out. So my name is Erika. I go by Miss-Enformed, and my last name is Baker, and I am the owner of Black and Bilingual.
All right, so let's stop right there. Why Miss-Enformed? Like I get it, I get the play on words, but how did that come about?
Okay, it's a double entendre. So I'm Miss because I'm a woman, informed with an E because people always come to me for like what's going on. So I'm informed. And then people are misinformed, like malinformed. So I'm trying to give you the accurate information. So that's my double entendre.
To not be misinformed, talk to misinformed. I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Your pastime. So early when I said pasatiempos, viewers, pastimes.
I said cooking, traveling, talking to my friends. I like to walk, especially in the pandemic. Stay in my house. I think that's all I said.
You social media. You mentioned that as well. Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. A-town, state.
Your family, whether that's in the house or your sisters, brothers, parents.
So my mother, I said I live with I have my mom, I have my dad. He lives in Alabama. My sister lives in Brooklyn, New York, and my rest of my family lives in Tennessee.
Okay. Your job or jobs?
Okay. I said I have many jobs. I'm a hustler. My day job is I'm a teacher at a high school, and then I also do night deliveries at a delivery company. I wrote a book in 2018. I have Black and Bilingual where I sell things, and I sell CBD oil.
All right. Yes, ma'am. What they say, multiple streams of revenue, of income. Okay. What do you want to be in the future, do in the future, if it's different from what you're doing now?
I said I want for Black and Bilingual to be a global company.
That's right. Mrs. Worldwide. All right. And your favorite Latino song or Latino singer?
My favorite Latino singer is Celia Cruz, also known as La Reina de Salsa, the Queen of Salsa. I had to do a project on her in the 10th grade or 11th grade. And when I saw that she was Black, that is what made me very interested in her to choose her. And then my favorite song by her is La Vida es un Carnaval, the Life is a Carnival. And yeah, that was the very first song that I heard by her.
All right. And I was telling her that was the same for me. Like that's the first song I found out about when I was in college. And I just connected with it and her. And her, because I'm gonna be her for Halloween this year, and I'm gonna step it up because you know when she was older, she started wearing real extravagant stuff. So I don't know where I'm about to get this stuff from, but I'm gonna try to do it right.
I'm gonna look out for that. I have to see that. That's gonna be awesome.
All right, so that is it. Oh, but tell them about your I've already talked about Black and Bilingual, but just where to go to purchase things. Also, what's on there other than this shirt? You know, what languages, I guess.
Yes, so Black and Bilingual is a trademark apparel company that showcases that Black people speak languages too. It's for Black men, women, and children. It's okay if you don't know a language because all Black people are bilingual. We code switch. So you are Black and Bilingual too.
And a lot of us know Ebonics. I need to start saying I'm trilingual. Ebonics is the language in my opinion.
Exactly. African American Vernacular English is a real dialect. It has real grammar rules. So yeah, you can purchase that. You can find me at blackbilingual.com. That's my website. You can find me at on Instagram at Black AND Bilingual and the number 1. And you can find me on Facebook at Black with the and sign Bilingual Apparel. I sell a plethora of things. I sell bags. I sell baby onesies. I sell shirts for men, women, and children. I sell shirts that say Black and Bilingual, but I also have like Black and Proud shirts, like home with Africa on it, like different universal Black sayings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And the podcast.
Yes, my podcast is available on all streaming platforms. It's Black and Bilingual.
All right. Well, thank you. Muchísimas gracias. I can't say it enough. Thank you, viewers. I hope you watched and enjoyed. All right. Buenas noches a todos. So stay on here, Erika. I'm just going to end the live.
Okay.
Un momento, por favor. Well, maybe I'm not. So I'm going to end the call and then I'll call you back.
Okay.
All right. Buenas noches a todos.
Okay.